Good morning. Ada Sparks here in the Word of Hope, and Elliot is back joining us today. I want to share with you a little piece of a verse that I came across last night in 2 Kings. It's back, been studying the different kings from the different, one to the other king and how they transferred the kingdoms, I guess you could say. There was a little piece of a verse that stood out to me. It was when a mother discovered that her son was dead, and she was worried of who was going to take the throne next. So she just began to kill everyone else that could possibly take the throne. And it says in 2 Kings chapter 11, verse 2, that an ant, it was actually an ant that did this, and it's speaking of Joash. It says she stole him from among the king's sons, which were slain, and hid him, even him and his nurse, in the bedchamber, so that he was not slain. I found that to be interesting because she was an ant. She saved his life, and that was it. She was never mentioned again. Now, what happens is many years later, we find this same little boy, because he was just a little boy at the time, that he becomes the king of Israel. And he does a great thing because he was the first king that was actually a good king. There were so many kings that were evil, and they did everything that God had told them exactly not to do. And it was all because of this one ant who did this one little thing. It seemed insignificant. Her name was never mentioned, and she was never brought up again. And sometimes what we do just seems so insignificant, and like nobody even notices. Nobody's even going to ever know that we did it, and it just seems fruitless. Kind of like the little boy whenever all those people were hungry, and they were like, does anybody have any food? Anybody got any food? And he says, well, I got 2 fishes and some bread. But Jesus took that and multiplied it and fed 5,000 people. And that's my favorite story in the Bible because it reminds me that what I do may seem so small and so insignificant. But if I'm willing to give it, even if it's just a little bit, God can do a great and mighty work with it. And I encourage you today, even if what you have to give may seem so small, it may seem like just a few pieces of bread. It may seem like just a phone call. It may seem like just the smallest thing. But I guarantee you that if you give it to someone else, God will multiply it and do a great work with it. Give what you have, and God will do something with it. See you next week with a word of hope. Be wise, not afraid. God bless.